Yeah, it's the Weege Show coming to you for the last time this year, hopefully, knock on wood, from my home office because I am scheduled to be at every race for the rest of the calendar. Next week's Monster Energy Supercross finale in Salt Lake City, all 11 Pro Motocross rounds, the 3 SMX races. I even plan on going to Motocross of Nations. I should be in to every race for the next couple of months, which makes it seem like there's a lot of racing left, but let's be honest, what we're talking about in the here and now is Supercross, and Jett Lawrence is on the last rung of the ladder. And these riders threw everything they had at him this year. You think of riders like Jason Anderson and Aaron Plessinger, who were better this year. Sexton was there. Tomac was back, maybe not quite pre-Achilles tear level, but he was still there. They took their swings at him. And Webb was the last man standing to try to stop him. Webb put in an excellent effort. Shout out to Cooper Webb for keeping this interesting and mathematically possible right down in the finale. But now he's banged up. Our man on the ground, Aaron Hansel, in Denver, talked to Jeremy Coker. That's the team manager for Monster Energy Yamaha Star Racing. And Coker indicated that Webb has a thumb injury. You probably noticed that as he came across the finish riding one-handed in Denver. And to add injury to injury, Eli Tomac has a thumb injury as well, although Coker thinks he'll be racing Salt Lake. You know Webb will because he's still mathematically in this. But this is the last rung. This is not a typical someone taking the sport by storm where other people were on the back foot or weren't ready or injured. Even Motocross last year, most of the veterans were not even there. Not this time. They knew how good this kid would be, and they gave him their best shot, and he was able to turn those shots into glancing blows. And hold on. And what's this now? His brother? His brother's getting better and better. He's the Velociraptor in Jurassic Park. He's getting smarter and better and more lethal every time and led a bunch of laps and followed Jett across the finish. And now we have something that's never happened before. Let's listen in.
But no, it's an awesome accomplishment for me to get that 8th win in my rookie season. But then also I feel like even the bigger topic of tonight is Hunt and I going first and second, first time ever been done in the Premier class. And I'm more psyched about that, to be honest.
Oh, man. This show is brought to you by Racetech, and the Gold Valves probably really came in handy for the privateers, many of them that use Gold Valves in the Yamaha Pulp MX LCQ Challenge on Friday. That track at Empower Field was very slippery. You need more traction, but also plushness and bottoming resistance. You can get it from the Gold Valves. Go to racetech.com. We've tried to avoid this for the majority of the year. The other show that I did from this office at round 2, Friday, round 2, there was already, I could tell, a groundswell of Jett Lawrence backlash from the fans, and then it peaked going to San Diego, getting into an argument with Anderson, and then the booze at Anaheim 2. Yeah, the Jett thing, it's gone full cycle, and full circle now. I think everybody's back to just put down the sword. You just got to respect him and really this entire program and the dad. What can you say about a dad who has 2 kids going 1-2 in a 450 Supercross race? We have to start showering some praise on Jett. Even though most of us were hedging all year, we didn't want to go too nuts just in case he wadded it up and didn't win the title, and then all the praise we heaped upon him was going to get thrown in our face. And we did have some data to say that this was an incredibly close and competitive championship. But let's be honest, Jett's just been really good the whole time. Even the mistakes he's made haven't been that crazy. The field was just really good this year and giving him everything they had. But now we've got an interesting dynamic on our hands. We have 2 brothers ascending. Hunter's a normal rookie. He's probably going to get better and better. There's a chance they could be the 2 best riders in the series, not just the 2 best riders on any given night at some point. A reporter in the press conference, a very smart guy, asked Hunter about his process of getting better with time. Hunter, I've heard you say a few times that you're trying to build data and things like that. Just give us an idea of what that process is, that you've kind of built this to be a slow process and steadily getting better and better. What is that process for you when you say you're trying to get data and use that to build confidence?
I'm more of a rider that gets confidence and mental strength from doing the work. You know, I'm not a guy that can kind of mess around all off season and then come to round 1 and try and convince myself and believe I deserve to win. You know, I have to put in the laps, I have to put in the work, and to be able to go, yeah, no, I deserve to win because I've done everything possible. And that's just the same. I've been like that most of my career, and everyone's path is different, and chasing number 18 during the week and on the weekends and stuff. So it's just playing catch up from the years off of injuries, and he's the best in the world right now. So I have a great base to keep training and learning off, and just if Jett wasn't here in this class, I'd probably be pretty good candidate for rookie, a great rookie season. But number 18 stole that one well and truly. But yeah, I wouldn't have it any other way. I've been there to help him when we're younger and stuff, and now it's the tails have turned the past 3 odd years, and I'm chasing him, which is cool.
So here's the interesting dynamic that I want to talk about here. Personally, I think the idea of teammates being at odds with each other is overrated and overstated. I don't think that really happens a lot in this sport. Most of the time, people are A, focused on themselves, and B, focused on some other guy. How odd and rare is it for two teammates to actually be the only ones that can stop each other from winning a title? That's so rare. Most of the time, teammates get along. I know someone in the comments section right now is saying, oh, tell that to Jean-Michel Bell and Jeff Stanton with Team Honda in 1991. The best example you can come up with is 1991, which is, 30-some years ago? That proves this doesn't happen this often. Once I talked to Eldon Baker, and I'm like, what's it like having these guys ride and train together? And he's like, honestly, how often do they start 1-2 and end up battling one-on-one for race wins? It happens less frequently than you think. But even that said, teams do take very, very careful attention to detail to make sure they don't pick one rider as a favorite over another, to the point where I remember, I believe this is the Dan Betley days, being the team manager of Honda. He had two very talented riders in Justin Barcia and Trey Kennard working out of the truck at the same time, and he wanted to make sure he didn't show any favoritism. So you go upstairs into the lounge, the riders have lockers, and one rider's locker was closer to the stairs than the other, and he had to make sure that sometimes he skipped that guy and talked to the other guy first, so they would both be the guy he talked to first equally, and didn't just go with the guy who was closer in proximity, which would mean he would talk to him first more often, which would mean he potentially was showing some level of favoritism. That's the level teams go to make sure that both riders believe that the team believes in them. Even right now, we have Eli Tomac and Cooper Webb. I don't think they're going to dinner on Friday nights together, but the team has worked well to keep them both feeling like they've got their best shot, even Justin Cooper, getting everything the team can offer. But still, there can always be that little bit of tension. And that's what makes the dynamic different here. Yeah, thanks. For Hunter and Jett, I think historically teams that have two teammates who are battling for wins, they have to be very careful to not show favoritism toward one rider or the other, the one suspension guy or the one team manager. Do you think it's actually easier on your team to have two brothers who probably are going to get along anyway? Because it's a different dynamic than probably any team has ever had at this level.
I mean, yeah, we both want to beat each other pretty badly, but we're on basically almost the identical bike. So, I mean, at the point now, it's kind of just down to the rider almost more so. And I think, Dazzy kind of helps keep us in check and make sure there's no favorites with the team. So, but I think it's cool. I don't think many teams have had an experience of both boys being up there in the Premier class. So I think makes them sweat. And I feel bad for B-Dub running the checks out after this weekend. So it's going to hurt for him. So sorry for that. So it's like he won at what cost. So, but no, I think it's just more so awesome for the team. Just like I kind of said before, all the work they've put in. Yeah, so I think it's a big thank you to them.
What do you think about that, Hunter? Just the dynamic of usually teams have to work hard to not show favoritism.
No, for sure. No, our dad's raised us our whole life to, on equal, fair bikes or whatever you want to call it in anything we did, and just, put the pressure on the athlete to make the difference. And that's just been how he's raised us. So, yeah, there's no need for that. The better athlete will win. And obviously, as of now, right now, Jett's obviously the better athlete, and he's able to do what he's doing, and I'm just trying to catch up.
All right.
But the team likes me better, just between you and me.
As far as Hunter being the favorite brother, I'm not sure, because he still leaves his food in the truck and he doesn't throw it away. And I think he does it on purpose, So, yeah, probably. But Jett might be a little bit more the favorite.
I mean, again, can you just imagine what it'd be like to be the dad of this? The father who has two kids going 1-2, and I want to give credit to Mom as well. But here's the thing about Darren Lawrence. He's much more integrated into this race team, making bike choice, settings, line choice, technique, all these things. He's much more integrated than most fathers are, but he's earned that. Here's Lars Lindstrom talking about that in the press conference.
With them, they're really a team. You know, they're part of the team. Darren Lawrence is a part of the team. A lot more involved than probably most fathers are, but it works. You know, sometimes it doesn't, but in this case, it really does. And them being able to ride a similar setting and test and get the bike better, we've just created this environment, and I think that really, really works for us. And I think that, you know, there's no reason for. We obviously don't want to change, and I think that right now they have mutual feelings. So hopefully we can continue a relationship as long as possible. Hopefully their entire career, you know.
Yeah, that's Lars, the team manager for Honda. So look, it's all working out. We've tried to avoid making this story this season too much about Jett, and there's a lot of racing left and a lot of things that can happen throughout the Motocross and SMX campaigns, and got to knock on some wood. This title is not wrapped up. But in a season that we have discussed so much as being one of the most exciting, one of the most closely matched, one of the best ever, we've used that information to really overshadow what it might eventually be a season remembered for, which is, the season that Jett Lawrence and, oh my gosh, his brother showed up on the scene and had a race where they went 1-2, and Jett is looking to win both 450 Premier Class titles in his first shot at them. Ryan Dungey did it before in 2010. I'm not going to discredit any championship. That's not what I'm trying to do, but these guys were there. They gave Jett their best shot. And right now, again, he's on that last rung of the ladder. Dungey's year, there were a couple guys out. I don't want to discredit that at all. But this is truly something special. I think we've branded this year as special for how close the racing is. I mean, in fact, this RacerX cover back here with Webb on it says wildest season ever. Maybe it was. Maybe that's what we're thinking of this season as right now. But if Jett gets this done next week, we might start thinking about it as the season where the ascension was complete. If he gets it done in both motocross and supercross. And how can you argue the level of success when, oh, by the way, his brother led laps and finished second, and another milestone that no combination of brothers have ever reached before just got reached. It's wild how that works out. And finally, 250 West points are tied going into the finale. See you there in person. Knock on wood.